Hi, welcome to What's the Word? I'm your host, Jamie McFadden, and I'm so excited to have you here. This podcast is about all things wellness. Each week, we will focus on a word of the day, and I interview some of the most inspirational people I know and share that inspiration with you. Join me, let's learn together on What's the Word.
This is the place where I belong.
Hi, I'm Jamie, and welcome back to What's the Word? Today we have a mini episode, and we're going to focus on one of my favorite words of all time, kindness. So today I'm going to share with you my 5 tips for being kinder to yourself. Feel free to go outside and take a walk for this one, or just get into a comfortable seated position if you just want to chill. So specifically, we are going to talk today about being kind to ourselves, which is a great form of self-care. And believe it or not, many of us are so busy taking care of others, running around, getting the job done, that we often forget to be kind to that person staring back at us directly in the mirror. And let's face it, life is full of waves. Sometimes you're feeling great and riding high, and other times things may feel like they are crashing down on you. Managing stress and difficult emotions that we experience is absolutely not easy. But one of the greatest things we can do is to be kind to ourselves, especially in those moments when life feels tough. So here are my personal 5 favorite ways to be kind to myself, and I truly hope that these resonate with you. We're going to begin by just taking a couple deep breaths, connecting to ourselves in this moment. So wherever you're at, I want you to just slowly inhale through your nose and slowly exhale, releasing that breath all the way out. Again, big breath in through your nose. Feel your body expanding. And as you exhale, imagine releasing some pressure, some stress, and just maybe letting go just a little bit. One more breath just like that. Big breath in. And slowly release the breath all the way out. I want you to think in this moment, wherever you are, and acknowledge that this moment is beautiful exactly as it is. And this is exactly where you need to be. So now let's dive into those 5 top tips for being more kind to ourselves. Number 1 is show up. We've got to show up for ourselves. One of the best ways to be kind is giving ourselves that same kind of love that we often share with others, especially when we're having difficult feelings. Showing up might not be so easy because we might want to try and avoid or deflect and pretend that those feelings aren't happening. But showing up and allowing yourself to feel the feelings, even in those moments when you don't like them, is going to help you process and eventually feel better. So right now, make note of the feelings that you have going through your mind, through your body, and just give yourself a little bit of space and a little bit of compassion for whatever those feelings may be today. Feel free if you want to jot anything down while you're thinking about it, even making notes. I always make notes in my phone, just so that I don't forget. But acknowledging and bringing awareness to how we're feeling is one of the best and most simple ways that we can be kind to ourselves. And then once we acknowledge what we're feeling, then I want you to do number 2. Number 2, I call it ground down. So this is especially for those moments when you're feeling super overwhelmed, stressed, whatever else it may be. And oftentimes we resort to doing things that aren't so kind. And I want you to think about grounding down. So this is all about literally doing what you're doing in this very moment. It is about rerouting ourselves through either literally sitting down, taking some deep breaths, bringing some awareness and awakening parts of our body or parts of our mind that we're trying to shut down. It could be literally getting outside, getting some fresh air and taking a little walk. if you've been feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you have some deadlines and you're feeling pressured. So just grounding ourselves in the moment and acknowledging that we are doing great, just as we are. We're doing the best that we can. And oftentimes, just by doing that and grounding down, you can feel a lightness within your body. So I want you to do that right now. If you are walking, I want you to take some time to notice and observe the things that are going on around you. Notice the colors you see. Notice maybe a tree or a plant, or maybe acknowledge another person. But whatever it is, just bringing your attention to the present moment is going to help you be even more kind with yourself. And then if you are seated doing this meditation, what I want you to do is just pay attention to how your body feels in this space. Taking some deep breaths and noticing, scanning your body for any tightness or any tension, and just see what can happen if you just bring awareness to it. Number 3. This one has got to be my favorite. A gratitude practice. There are always things that we could be complaining or feeling frustrated by in our lives. There are also always moments in our lives that we can appreciate. And one of the greatest ways that we can be kind to ourselves is to acknowledge the things that we have in the moments. So it could be something as small as maybe your cup of coffee, or a smile that someone gave you, or a hug that you had with your child, or a snuggle with your pup. But whatever it is, just appreciating the small moments in the day-to-day mundane of life can actually turn it into a lot more magical moments. And by doing that, that brings us more joy. And when we feel joy, we're more kind to ourselves. So next, I want you to think about doing something you love, okay? This can be as big or as small as you want to make it, but I encourage you and I challenge you today to choose one thing. And when I ask you, what is something you love? Make note. What do you love doing? Start to think about those things and actually do them. Bring more joy into your daily routine, even if it's something so small and simple, like taking a break from work just to go for a walk. Or maybe it's journaling, or maybe it's putting on one of your favorite songs and just belting them out, or dancing in your living room. Whatever it is, activating these beautiful moments is going to help us to feel good inside. And therefore, that good feeling is going to have a trickle effect, and we're going to continue to be kind. Now, last but not least, and this one I want you to think about with heavy consideration. We are typically very hard on ourselves. We go, we push, and we're conditioned to believe that if it's not perfect, it's not good enough. You and me. But that is not true. So number 5 is I want you to be gentle with yourself today. I want you to think for a moment of something that you have done or said in your mind today that you were hard on yourself. Maybe it was something about your physical appearance. Maybe it was about an email that you were supposed to send. Maybe it was about your parenting style. But whatever it was, I want you to acknowledge it. And I want you to be gentle with yourself. I want you to embrace all that you are in this moment and acknowledge that you, in fact, are whole as you are right here and right now. And you, my friend, deserve the exact same love that you give to the people in your life that you love so dearly. Start giving that love to yourself and start small. You don't need all of a sudden to be putting pressure on yourself to be gentle. What I want you to do is to acknowledge the times when maybe you aren't so gentle, and then just by noticing it, you're automatically going to flip yourself into a different state of mind. So by doing that, we can start to have those moments where we can just breathe and acknowledge where we're at. And I say this specifically to those of you who are very, very, very tough on yourselves, who are either perfectionist, type A, or who consistently feel like maybe you aren't worthy or that you aren't doing things good enough. Because I'm going to tell you right now, and I want you to hear this, you are. You are amazing and you are whole. In this very moment, you have every single thing that you need because you are where you're supposed to be. So I'm going to leave you with this. 5 things to be kind. Make sure that you're showing up for yourself. Make sure that you ground down and do something that keeps you grounded, anchors you into the moment. I want you to take time to focus on at least one thing that you have to be grateful for. Make sure that you're doing more things that you love. And most of all, be gentle. You're doing the best you can, and that best is beautiful. So, with all that being said, thank you so much for joining me today, whether you got outside and went for a little walk around the block, or whether you just did this sitting down in your living room. I want to acknowledge that What's the Word is a podcast where I want to help by giving you tips and tricks that you can have on your tool belt so that as we go through the waves of life, you and me can start to be more kind to ourselves, which then in turn will help us be more kind with each other. So on that note, my friends, thank you so much for listening. And if you are new to What's the Word, be sure to subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcasts from. And actually, on July 11th, I'm launching my new course called Love Yourself Naked. Yes, that's right. It is a 6-week deep dive into self-care, all 6 pillars, utilizing my specific wave system. And there are a couple spots left, so feel free to jump in, send me a DM on Instagram at Jamie McFadden, and I will book your discovery call so we can hopefully get you in that program and get your self-care boosted. On that note, take care of yourself, be kind, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for joining What's the Word. Bye. Thank you for joining me here at What's the Word. Follow us on social media with the links on the screen, and don't forget to like and share with your friend. Your support helps us grow and continue to make inspirational content. See you next time on What's the Word.